that particular position, what's your focus on being so involved in the run fit against a team that's going to run, probably 90% of the time on Thursday?
Yeah, the biggest thing for us is discipline in our eyes. Just making sure that we're boxing everything back in, to our backers. Let our backers eat and let the D line eat. So it's not going to be like the biggest thing for us of tackling, but just letting everybody else eat.
And then for you, how do you try to bring that added physicality to play in that position, moving over to Rover? I think back with guys like Eric Ainsley, who've been kind of big guys. You're big in personality, big in leadership, but how do you try to play with that big man mentality?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to call myself a bullet on the football field. I like to pull the trigger. I don't got time to wait and to be hesitant. Ankle bite, knee bite, whatever the case may be, but pull the trigger. Don't even let them get a chance to, shimmy. So.
And then how different has it been just working on your guys' alignment, which is looking a lot different in practice than it probably will when you're playing a more traditional or maybe a more spread out offense, but having so many guys in the box on your defense?
Yeah, it really hasn't that big of a change for us. I think our coaches do a great job of just getting us aligned and just allowing us to be successful so we can play fast, play aggressive, and dominate, period.
Week one road game, how big is it in terms of momentum? Like, obviously winning at home week one is good for confidence in front of a home crowd, but going on the road in someone else's territory and getting that one, how big is that to have a good start?
Yeah, it's going to be a great start. There's that one saying from a song, walk in your trap, take over your trap, and that's what we're going to do. Every chance that we get to play anybody, we don't care where it's at, the football field, the parking lot, we just want to play football. We've been saying that since the summertime, running gassers and quarters, all that good stuff, conditioning-wise and whatever, but, it's like football's here now. So we're going to show it, and we're going to prove everybody.
Do you feel like the sense of urgency is different? I mean, at this level, does Coach talk about the road start, or is that kind of just assumed at this point in your career that, obviously you want to come out faster? Is that kind of a conversation that you guys still have at this level?
Yeah, no, we always talk about starting fast. I think the biggest thing for us defensively is once we get going, we're going, and that's how we want to be shown on the field. When they see us on the film, they want to be like, dang, those guys play hard, and that's from the very first play to the last one.
Does this come you bring this kind of confidence, this comfortability? Where does that come from for you?
All the hard work we've been putting in from day one till now. We've prepared in the film room, working out, staying on top of our body weights, keeping our bodies healthy, and just on the field in general, just getting those reps. So.
Talk about hopping on the plane.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a big difference than driving there. So we're just truly blessed to be able to get that opportunity and just appreciative of it.
You guys did it last year a little bit. How can you as a captain help some maybe the guys that didn't do it last year get through this?
Follow instructions. I think the biggest thing is be patient with everything. Everything will happen slowly. Just go with the flow. Don't try to do your own thing, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
In terms of pace of play, just getting back to that, because I know you guys felt like when you got hurt, you were kind of trending in the right direction, getting up to speed. Where do you feel like you guys are in that in terms of playing as fast as you want to play? It's only week 0. You're going to try to get better, but where do you think you are to start the season?
I think we're honestly, Coach Higgins mentioned this, I think we're light years ahead, honestly. I feel like last year it was just uncertainty, just throwing to new guys. I mean, that's what it is. It's just experience. So I think definitely right now, I just knowing where everybody's at on the field definitely helps me out, and it helps those guys out too. So the fact that I know where to go with the ball and they know where to be, it just makes a huge difference.
You came out of the gate against them last year, and I think you found 10 different receivers. So you've mentioned trying to spread the ball out to everybody. I know you want to get the stinger backs involved more this year. How as an offense do you feel like, and how as a quarterback do you feel like you're doing in terms of reading progressions, not necessarily going to the first guy that plays the time for, but if it's covered, making sure that you can find the right guy to throw the ball to on every time?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 10 guys. I always throw the open guy. Every play we call, there's an answer somewhere. So if I don't need to hone in on one guy. I mean, we got athletes everywhere. Whoever's on that field can make plays, and I trust every single one of them, from a running back catching a ball to an S back. I mean, everybody on the field can be an impact player for sure.
And then just talk about what you guys feel like. Don't have any film yet, obviously, but what you anticipate in terms of their defense. You guys came out really well against their defense last year. I know you would have liked to have scored some more points in the second half, but in terms of diagnosing their defense, what are you anticipating?
Probably, I know their D-line. I think their D-line coach is their new defense coordinator. So there'll probably be some changes, but I don't think it's hard to bring in somebody new and kind of change what you. So especially the first game. So I think just having that to our advantage, watching old like last year's game film. Maybe a lot of try to keep everything because they know we got some speed. We don't want to take the top off on them, so they're probably going to play us pretty conservative. So just taking what they give us. Don't try and force anything. That's the one thing, especially because they're wing T. We don't want to have turnovers because turnovers leads into a lot of time getting off the clock, and we don't want that. So.
Ben, going back to the spring, and I asked just out of curiosity. This was before the 5-for-5 legislation passed. You were kind of taking a backseat, giving Jameson some reps, right? What was that like, just in terms of like playing a different role this spring, and kind of being able to learn and watch from a different kind of perspective than being out there in pads and playing every day?
I think it was good for me just kind of sit back and just watch how like the team like. If it's a good practice, like I know what's going on. If it's bad, I can feel it. Like just getting a new type of vibe about the practice. And like JMO did a great job in the spring. Like just kind of always nitpicking, like asking questions, like, hey, what'd you see there? It helps us too. Like helps all the quarterbacks out. Even all the other quarterbacks that are out on the field. Like just always trying to pick their brain and just understand what they're thinking and understand what I'm thinking too. Because I would sit back behind and kind of watch and like think about where I would go with the ball. So I just ask them after and think about where they went with the ball. So.
What's the sense of urgency for a game like this on the road week one? Obviously you want to, if you play at home, you want to win week one and bring your home fans.
Yeah.
But just knowing like you're going to somebody else's house, do you guys talk about that? What's your role in talking to the team in terms of getting a week one win?
Yeah, I think like as leaders and captains, I think we have to be an extension of the coaches because like coaches can't be around us 24/7. So if we're always reiterating the same message and getting everybody on the same page, I just think it keeps everybody locked in because I think at times like some guys slip around, they mind gets all over the place. So, but as long as us as leaders, we can just hone guys back in, and it's always about getting off to a hot start. We want to take this game, and after this game, we want to elevate throughout the season.
Do you feel your comfortability or confidence growing in this program, it being year two in that regard? Feeling
Yeah.
Not that you didn't maybe feel a sense that you could speak up, but now you kind of feel within your own in this team.
Yeah, definitely. And I think last year was, just obviously just being new. Now it's like been around for years. So I just think just being a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident. That goes a long way. Just how you prepare for a game, preparing just week in, week out, just go get the job done. So.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Coach, looking here, week 0, you always want to get off to a good start. For you guys, in terms of getting the speed to the offense this year and running it faster, how has that been going in terms of getting Ben up to speed and getting the offense to the pace that you want to ultimately see it run at?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind is we have a veteran guy coming back. So Ben knows how to operate our no-huddle mechanics, and he's one of the best at doing it. He really is. He does it. We could use a teach tape in showing young quarterbacks this is what you do to keep the pace and how to make sure that we're playing with tempo. So, and we always tell him he's the bus driver. All right, he's hauling his teammates on the offensive side around, and he can go fast or slow. Of course, we want to go fast most of the time, but there are times when we will slow it down, depending on where we're at in the game or whether the situation calls for it or not. So, I think as far as getting our offense up to speed, I think it's been we've been able to do that because we return some veteran guys that have been in this offense for a while now. So I think that makes it easier when you're looking at going into the fall and starting camp. I guarantee you we're a lot more comfortable playing faster this fall camp than we were last year.
When you think of the rover position, which in the 3 high is typically like a linebacker safety combo guy, I think back of a guy like Eric especially going against such what we predict is going to be a run attack that you're going to face in week 0?
I think they're similar to, say, the Mike linebacker, and to me, the Mike linebacker is similar to the quarterback on offense as far as getting calls and being vocal. I think the Rover, and I'm not for sure all the calls that they make, but they have to get everybody lined up, especially in the back end. Clem is also somebody who's very smart, understands the defense. So even if it's not designed for him to say anything, if he does notice somebody is lined up not correctly, then he's going to get it corrected. So, those are, and then he's just a good football player. And, and those guys, there's other guys you have there that are bigger. To me, it's about the guys that can function at that position, both mentally and physically.
And then for you guys going on the road, flying down, there's going to be adversity. There certainly was last year, whether it's in the game or before the game. How do you feel like the guys,
or even before we flew out?
Maybe, but it just feels like you guys have, not that it isn't a focus every year, but it just seems like the guys are really together. This you notice after practice, everybody's looking at you. They answer yes, sir. How confident are you that you've got a group put together and leadership put together with IHO's Leadership Council that's going to be able to handle adversity, whether it's falling behind in the game or something happens on the tarmac and you guys are ready for it?
Yeah, I want to say that you are correct, and that's a great assessment, Blake, and I hope you're 100% right. But, again, there hasn't been anything that's affected us yet during the course of a game, and that's where your leadership and, how successful we're going to be, a lot of it depends on, not all of it, but a lot of it depends on how we handle adversity and whether we continue to stick together or we begin to look at answers. I think in this day and age in college athletics in general, I think a lot of guys want to find answers or think about it's not necessarily their fault. And, we all want the same thing. We all want to win football games, coaches, players, everybody together. So we should all be on the same page. And disappointed when you lose and happy when you win. Usually the being happy part is not as long as you'd like it to be. The losing part seems to take a little longer. So I don't know. Like I said, I think that's a great assessment, and I hope just the vibe of the team, I'm going to say yes. As far as how I feel about this group, I'm going to say yes, we're going to be able to stick together through tough times, and yes, you may have some arguments and things like that, but at the end of the day, everybody leaves the locker room. We all still got to be on the same page. So I think this group will, but again, until we really get right into the mix of things, we don't know yet.
Building off that, in terms of sense of urgency, at this level, college football, do you talk to the guys about the importance of winning a week 1 road game and the momentum that can bring in week 2, or do you rely upon the Ben Harrises and the Clems to do that, or kind of what's your take?
Yeah.
Kind of getting that point across, like, hey, you win week 1 on the road, this is big to kind of for the rest of the season.
Right, and it's big for a lot of reasons, and the old cliche, and everybody uses it. It's the most important game because it's the next game, right? Even though it's actually the first game of the season. But you are right about that, and the captains will address the team. Always let them address the team first game. But our message as a staff too is going to be similar to what you said, just about getting started off. We got a plan in place of what we want to get accomplished this year. Right? And for us to be successful in that plan, we got to take care of objective 1, which is going on the road and beating Minot. And that's what we're about. That's what we're thinking about. Everybody's ready to play the first game. They're going to be ready to play the first game too. And they're going to be jacked up home. They're playing at home. They've been in fall camp working hard just like we have. So it's not like I'm going to have to get our guys ready to play because they'll be ready. It's the other things, just like, maintaining our focus and going in there with the plan. All right? And that plan is, like I said, to win the first football game.
Last time I saw you, it was the spring showcase, and Jameson was playing because before all the eligibility stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Ben was what did you learn or see from him of just like, you know, he wasn't in paths, but he had to still be engaged and still be focused, and kind of what was that relationship like between him and Sarver?
You know, I think it was great. I think I think it improved the relationship. You know, they weren't necessarily out there competing against one another because Ben wasn't able to go through spring football, but he was be able to look back, like he said. I heard him talk in his interview, you know, as far as watching what he would see and where he would go with the ball, and talk to J-Mo about it. So I think that brought him closer. I also think that it gave Ben an opportunity to see things at a bigger picture. And you know, because I think that's important for quarterbacks to really see the big picture of things, especially what we want to be, who we want to be on offense, what our identity is, and what everybody's assignment, what everybody's role is. So I think it helped him be able to see that, and along with his leadership, I think he's grown as a leader. You know, on the flip side of that, I would say it also helped J-Mo, also because he was able to get more reps. You know, like think about last year, we threw him in that game against Central Missouri. All the reps he got basically were that week, and he did a great job. So for him to be able to get 15 practices of, you know, basically the majority of the spring ball reps was huge for him. Now, I think it put a little bit of undue expectations on J-Mo, to be quite honest with you, and I think he feels that going into this camp, where, you know, we look at him differently than being somebody that if he wouldn't have played last year, he's a redshirt freshman, he's going to make mistakes, right, during fall camp this year. Well, if he made mistakes this fall, I was like, why are you making mistakes? You shouldn't, you know. So the standard's been raised, unfair or fair, to J-Mo. That's just how it is. So I think it helped both those guys.
Finally, for me, do you feel kind of an increased sense of confidence from your team? Just the guys that we heard from today and leaders this summer, it just feels like they feel better where they're at this year than they do last year. Do you feel that in terms of just like comfortability and kind of like, you know, we've been before, so we know what we should expect, or kind of what's your take on maybe?
Yeah, I think you feel that way a lot because you have veterans, you know, like, and then also sometimes I don't want to buy too much into it because we haven't started this season yet and bad things haven't happened yet, or we've had all those things. But just doing it for as long as I've done it, and believe me, I'm wrong a lot of times, okay? But I feel that about this group, that it's a tighter, you know, one of the things we talked about when we started fall camp, it wasn't come together as a team. It was grow closer as a team because we've already come together, all right? So that's how I see this team. You know, I think the confidence part is, and I hope what we get from that is that we understand what our objective is, all right, and what we got to go get done. Going on the road, flying. We didn't do very well when we flew last year. You know, got off to a horrendous start and couldn't come back from it, lost the game.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.